Welcome to Tired Mommy Revival. Hey mama, are you running on coffee fumes? Feeling like brain fog, fatigue, and anxiety are running the show? Do you wake up dreading the day ahead, already overwhelmed by the endless to-do list and unsure how you'll make it through? Do you long for the energy to enjoy motherhood and care for yourself, but feel stuck and unsure where to start? Let me remind you of something life-changing. You were created for more energy, more clarity, more joy. Hi, I'm Jerusha, certified holistic wellness coach, wife and mom to 2 wild boys and 1 baby girl in heaven. I know the exhaustion you're feeling because I've been there, barely making it through the day, relying on coffee and chocolate to survive, and wondering why nothing I tried ever made me feel better. Then, God stepped in and revealed a powerful truth. A woman's body is beautifully and uniquely designed to thrive. When we align with how God created us, we can boost our energy, bust through fatigue, and step into the vibrant, joy-filled life He has for us. Mama, I'm living proof that it's possible. These days, I wake up refreshed, nourish my body with intention, and navigate the chaos of motherhood with patience and peace. Most days. And I want to help you do the same. If you're ready to swap exhaustion for energy, brain fog for clarity, and guilt for grace, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into practical strategies, faith-filled truths, and empowering tools to renew your health, body, soul, and spirit. Are you ready for this? Let's do it, mama. Today, we're kicking off a brand new series called Macro Myths. I know, another series. I can't help it, you guys. I love a good series. And I hope you're here for it too, because I am so excited about this one. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by nutrition advice, afraid of carbs, confused about fats, or wondering if you're eating enough protein or too much, you're in the right place. But before we talk about the individual macros, we need to start by breaking up with one of the oldest, most overused, and flat out inaccurate systems for measuring your food and your health: calories. Somewhere along the way, we were told that managing our health came down to a math equation: calories in versus calories out. Just eat less, move more, and voila, health. Right? Wrong. Because if you've ever tried living off 1,200 calories while chasing toddlers, doing laundry, homeschooling, and still trying to show up as a functioning human, you already know the math ain't mathing. But here's the real kicker. The entire calorie counting model is based on science that's over 100 years old and doesn't even make sense for how real human bodies work. Let's take a quick trip back to the 1800s, where a guy named Wilbur Atwater decided to figure out how much energy was in different foods. So he used something called a bomb calorimeter. I think I said that right. Basically, it's a metal chamber where you incinerate food and measure how much heat it gives off. This heat was used to assign a number, aka a calorie, to that food. And just like that, we started labeling our meals based on how hot they burned in a metal box. Let's just pause and say it together. That's like burning a pair of jeans to see if they'll fit you. You see how ridiculous that sounds? Just because something burns a certain way in a lab doesn't mean your body will respond to it that way. You are not a furnace. You're not just burning fuel. You're digesting, absorbing, metabolizing, and interacting with food on a cellular, hormonal, and chemical level. The calorie model is outdated and oversimplified. Here's what it gets wrong. It ignores how your body uses food. It doesn't account for digestion, nutrient absorption, muscle mass, stress, sleep, or hormone shifts. And it treats a 300-calorie donut the same as a 300-calorie chicken salad. Spoiler alert, they're not the same. You and I could eat the exact same 500-calorie lunch and have totally different blood sugar responses, hunger levels, and energy afterwards. Calories don't measure impact, they just measure heat. This is where macros come in. And no, it's not just a trendy thing bodybuilders say on Instagram. So, what are macros? Macros, short for macronutrients, are the nutrients your body needs in large amounts to function properly. There are three main ones: protein, carbs, and fats. Sometimes I include fiber as a bonus macro because it plays such a critical role, and we'll have more on that later in the series. But each of these macros serves a very different purpose in your body, and this is key. Every macro sets off a different chain of biological reactions, chemical messages, hormonal shifts, and cellular changes based on what you eat. Calories completely overlook that. Now, macros are not the only part of our nutritional profile. We also have micronutrients, also known as micros, and these are your vitamins and minerals like iron, zinc, magnesium, vitamin C, etc. And they also matter. But today we're focusing on the big picture macronutrients that fuel our body on a daily basis. So let's talk about what each macro actually does. Here's a super simplified breakdown. Protein builds and repairs tissue, balances blood sugar, supports immune function, and helps you feel full. Carbs provide quick energy, fuel your brain, and support hormone function, especially thyroid and serotonin. And fats nourish your brain, stabilize hormones, and absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K and keep you satisfied. Each one of these communicates differently in your body. They're not interchangeable, they're informational. Your food isn't just fuel, it's a message. Protein tells your body, build and repair. Carbs say, we've got energy, go. Fats say, we're safe, nourished, and stable. And fiber, it tells your gut bacteria to party. So let's talk about how to shift from calorie counting to macro awareness. This doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to weigh your food or log every bite, but start thinking in categories instead of calories. Ask yourself at each meal, where's my protein? Is there a healthy fat here? What kinds of carbs am I eating? And is there fiber or nutrients attached to them? This shift alone can radically improve your energy, digestion, blood sugar, and even your mood. It's not about eating less, it's about eating what works. When you start thinking in macros instead of calories, you stop micromanaging every bite. You start eating with purpose, and you feel better because your meals are actually doing something in your body. And as a busy mom, that's what you need. Food that works with you and not against you. So now that we've burned the calorie myth, pun fully intended, here's where we're headed next. Over the next few episodes, we're digging into each macro one by one. First up is carbs, the most feared, most misunderstood, and most lied about macro in the wellness world. Then we'll talk about protein, why most women aren't getting enough, and how it impacts everything from energy to metabolism. Then we'll tackle fats, the ones that heal versus the ones that harm, and why eating fat doesn't mean gaining fat. And finally, a bonus episode on fiber, which I consider the forgotten macro that actually makes all the others work better. Because the truth is, the health world has made a mess of all of this. We've been told to cut carbs, fear fats, overload on protein powders, and ignore fiber altogether. But in this series, we're untangling the confusion and relearning how to fuel our bodies in a way that aligns with real biology. And yes, also God's brilliant design for women's health. So here's your biggest takeaway for today. Calories are outdated. Macros are smarter. Your body deserves real food, not a math equation. If this episode gave you a light bulb moment, would you text it to a friend or post it to your stories? You never know who else is still stuck in the calorie counting trap and just needs permission to let that go. And be sure to hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Carbs, friend or foe. Until next time, keep it simple, stay nourished, and remember, you were made for wellness. Mama, I hope this episode blessed you and reminded you that you were beautifully and uniquely made to thrive. If today's conversation spoke to your heart, I'd love for you to take a moment to leave a rating and review. Not only does it encourage me, but it helps more tired mamas discover the hope, healing, and energy they've been searching for. You're not in this alone. Make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Together, we'll reclaim your energy, renew your health, and revive your spirit, one step at a time. Until next time, remember, you are beautifully designed by God to live with energy, clarity, and joy. You're not just surviving, mama. You're stepping into the vibrant life you were created for. I'm cheering you on.